Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to do our uranium technical analysis update. We'll jump right into it and I'll give you my financial opinion. Here we go. This is uranium futures prices. We're doing that step change. All right, so this actually looks pretty bullish. So what I look for are these patterns, and I'll leave these up here because they're actually solid patterns. And what I look for are breakouts. And then we want to see step patterns. So we're stepping up higher and higher. It's called stair stepping. And we're moving sideways. The sellers aren't pushing this back down. It's just going sideways. The physical price looks ultra strong. So I think that this looks beautiful. You can't get much of a better looking chart than the futures prices. Now, how does that transpire into some of the companies? So here is the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust. This always happens, guys. You have to be patient. This is just what happens with markets. We set here. We came back down. We got a little bit more resistance, a little bit of resistance through here. So we came up and went sideways. We came down and went sideways. We hit our head here and came back. We came up, and we're going to probably do a little bit of moving sideways. So what we're going to be looking for here when we zoom in is a retest move. And we're getting that retest move here. We're coming back and doing a retest move in this general vicinity. And that's just what markets do. You can't bypass it. I'm not bearish on the sector I'm still very much a bull on it. And if we get this full retest move, I'm going to be looking at companies. I'm going to be looking at companies, and I have my favorites. Looking at URNM. URNM is also pulling back a little bit. We got at least it's contracting a little bit. The opening and closing price of the day is getting a little bit closer. It means the buyers and sellers are starting to equal out a little bit. I'd like to see a little bit more equalization, or throwing a wick at the bottom with a little, I can't even draw, with a little hammer pattern there. There's my hammer pattern. A little wick at the bottom, or a hammer pattern, or some sort of reversal. Maybe we come down real slowly, but we have to see it reverse at some point. But we've still got a little bit of selling pressure. Camco, yeah, a little bit of selling pressure. The sellers aren't just killing it, though. That's what we're looking at. What I like seeing are these big up green candlesticks, the small red days. And we got a little bit of selling pressure these past 2 days, but it's still looking okay. We are still above support, and we're below this resistance line. So we're coming up. We're trying to make progress through this resistance line. We just haven't gotten through it yet. Bannerman getting a little bit of selling pressure. Again, it's above its support. Everything looks really good. It's a small candlestick body day. Still looks good. Goviax getting a little bit more selling pressure. We could come back a little bit more before we get a little bit more buying pressure. I don't see the buyers and sellers equaling out yet. The sellers are looking a little bit strong here, so we're going to have to slow that selling pressure down a little bit. Global Atomic looks like it's slowing its down quite well. Still looking good, moving sideways. We've got Forces Metals, another one that looks like it's putting in at least an effort. The buyers came in and bought it back up throughout the day. That's why there's a wick at the bottom. So we opened here, we traded down, buyers came up and bought it back up and pushed it back up to the closing price. So it's still looking okay. Pierpoint Uranium just moving sideways at the bottom of its support line. We've got Deep Yellow. Deep Yellow, like I said, we're probably going to come in this little circle over here. We had a little bit of a down day today. But the circle where the support line is in the blue is still probably a high likelihood. Paladin, again, a little bit of a down day, but still looking strong. We are above its pattern. And that's what's important. We want to be above the patterns, and we want to buy off support and make sure the support's holding. So everything's good. Sky Harbor getting a little bit more sell-off. I think we are going to kind of droop back down to this maybe general vicinity somewhere in here. And then the buyers will probably pick back up closer to support. Alaska is right on support right now. So we'll see if the buyers step in and buy it up tomorrow. Next Gen Energy, that is at support. We drew it correctly. You could see the buyers came in and put it right back on the line of that support. So we'll see if that support holds tomorrow. Base load, this guy keeps getting hit on its head right at this resistance area. So we've got, the resistance here, here, and here, and we're getting a little bit of a sell-off. Now, what we want to see is we want to see a low, we want to see a higher low as it comes back. And then if it comes back again, we want to see another higher low. You might get a good buying point in this general vicinity if it pulls back that far. And I'll leave that on there. I'll just do that. I'll leave this on there. I'm just guessing that this is the general vicinity, but we'll see where it falls based off the candlesticks and the buying and selling pressures. Fission 3.0 getting a little bit of a sell-off today. Little wick at the bottom, so there's a little bit of buyers there at the end of the day. Fission, this is Fission Uranium Corp. Again, still selling off a little bit. Buyers haven't stepped in. We haven't created that bottom yet. Still a little bit more selling pressure. Basically sideways in Kazatomprom. Supports underneath it in the blue line. We've got Peninsula Energy. Again, we're just moving sideways with Peninsula Energy. Boss Energy, see, that's broken out. We've broken this strong resistance line, and there's no more resistance. The buyers are just running away free. They're freely running to the upside here. So that one looks good. Does that mean I should buy it at this point? That's up to you. Remember, guys, I can't give advice or anything like that, but I like the day I would have purchased is this day right here because it's a bullish engulfing, and we're closing on this resistance line, and that's what I try to do. Here's a bullish engulfing, a bullish piercing, and a bullish engulfing. You've got them all aligned, and that's your statistical probability. Now, looking at this guy, this is consolidated uranium. We've got kind of I see some resistance there. I see support through here. So we're coming to a point here, and we'll see which way this thing goes. Lotus Resources, a little more selling pressure. We're right on support. We'll see if that support can hold. The sellers are going to take a run at it. We've got UROY. UROY is still squeezing up. We're still squeezing up. If we get an opportunity down here, that's where I would be looking. Encore Energy, another one's getting a little more selling pressure. We could come back in this general vicinity down here. And we'll see if we do that tomorrow. You got sold off. Just kidding. Again, we've got there's resistance up there, and we hit that resistance. We're selling off the sellers, and then we're probably going to come back to this support area if it gets there. URG getting a little bit of a sell-off. That basically mimics what UU, and UEC does. UEC getting a little bit of buying pressure. That's what the wick at the bottom is today. So that's positive. LEU right at support. Yeah, that's looking good. We've got LTBR getting a little bit of a sell-off here. Breaking down a little bit. We might head back a little bit lower. We've got ISO Energy. ISO Energy, another one that looks like it's trying to do a retest move. Might look good here soon. One thing I'm going to do is I am going to clean this up real quick for everybody. I'm going to put it on the closing prices. And it's going to look something like that. And we're going to come to this area and see if that support holds. Appy Energy getting a little bit more of a sell-off today. Could go a little bit lower. Good momentum there to the downside. We've got Denison Mines. Again, we've broken through my circle. It was a pretty big down day. We'll see if this support area down here gets hit next. Blue Sky Uranium just moving sideways. We've got Forum Energy Metals getting a little bit lower today. We've got Anfield moving sideways. We've got Laramide getting sold off with the rest of the group, rest of the pack. Again, let me get this a little drawn in there for you guys, a little bit cleaner than what I've got it. It's going to be something like this coming through, somewhere in that range, and we could come back and do a retest there. Western Uranium Vanadium is heading a little bit lower. Could go a little bit lower here with that one. I don't own it. UEXCF getting a little bit of a sell-off here. We've got Mega Uranium, another one that I think will go higher. We've broken this all to the upside. From a long-term perspective, it looks quite good. Standard Uranium. This one is falling out of favor. It's starting to sell off a little bit more. We could see a little further pullback here. ALXEF, another one that's selling off. We've got Azincourt that's selling off. It's still within its pattern, though. The bottom line is holding. We've got Valor Metals, another one that's just moving sideways. It's right at the bottom of its pattern. We've got Elevate Uranium. Again, a little bit of a sell-off today. It was bought back up. That's what the wick is at the bottom here. But this thing's had a pretty good run already. It went from 50 cents all the way to 82 cents in a heartbeat. And we're just starting to cool off a little bit. And then 92E released some information. I think it was counts per second was pretty dang high. This thing is moving pretty good. So that's what I've got for uranium, guys. That's the update. What do you do? I'm not doing anything, guys. I'm not doing anything. I do think that it does still look a little bit weak, that we could pull back a little bit more in the short term. So would I be diving in here on some of these? Not yet, but it doesn't look bad. So it doesn't look bad, doesn't look great. I'm kind of indifferent on it, but it looks good that we're above a lot of these patterns. So there's still strength there. Nothing's really broken. The trend isn't broken yet on the majority of these. So I would just be waiting. That's what I'm doing. If you guys like the content, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Subscribe to the website, Platinum membership, if you want to know more about what I am buying. I'm not buying much of uranium at this particular second, but there's a couple sectors I am buying. If you're interested to know what I'm buying and the specific companies that I am buying, you can look at the website below, join the Platinum membership, and that will get you everything that I am buying real time. I just posted one today of something that I'm buying with what I think is a very good setup, and you guys can see that. So if that's interesting to you, go ahead and sign up, and I'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.